Oh, good.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Tonight we are cooking a cracking burger with a side of dressed green salad. We're doing a jam jar dressing, and I'm going to demonstrate a berry smoothie. So just a few little house rules. Remember to make sure your username on the interface is your name so we can record your attendance. Switch your cameras on. I love seeing your smiling faces and what you're cooking, particularly if you're cooking along with me tonight. And as always, just raise your hand or pop your questions into the chat box. We have our lovely host tonight, Taryn, in the chat box there waiting for your questions, and I endeavour to answer them throughout the cooking class tonight. Round number 2. How exciting. I hope everyone has their equipment out in front of them and their ingredients too. We have a bit more to get through this week, today. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Now, we are going to learn how to cook a burger from scratch. And a lot of times the burger gets it gets hard done by, considering it to be an unhealthy meal option, but we can make it as healthy and nourishing as we absolutely can. So by the time it takes you to go through that drive-through or order online, I can guarantee a fun, healthier spin on takeaways, saving you money as well. Last week, I'd like to think that we introduced you to some new foods and some new flavor combinations. Any favorites that you had, just pop them into the chat box. Any favorite flavor combinations, and the same for tonight too. If you've got your own little takes on a few things. Yeah, I love to see those photos and feedback coming through. We like to send that through to the info@thegoodfoundation.com.au, and that email address will be down on the chat box below. And finally, we are continuing to build those cookery skills in the comfort of your own home or in in your student accommodation there. We're focusing a little bit tonight on knife skills again, managing the heat in the pan, and resting our meat and the importance of it. It's also a vegetarian option for the veggie burger. You might want to go for a can of lentils, chickpeas, or we could also use some mushrooms too. Alrighty, so let's do a little bit of food safety, because I want to get working on my mince as soon as possible. The thing about mince and dealing with raw meat in the kitchen is the harmful bacteria that can multiply, okay, particularly with time. So raw and undercooked minced meat may contain harmful bacteria. How it's different from a whole cut of meat, the bacteria can settle on the outside surface of a whole cut of meat, and when it gets all minced up by your butcher like this, all of that outside becomes the inside, and that gives it that more chance to multiply. So it's important when we cook the meat in the pan or roast it, this bacteria is killed off. We want to make sure the mince is thoroughly cooked all the way through to ensure that that harmful bacteria is destroyed. Okay, now if you're not going to eat both patties tonight, so I have 250 grams of mince in front of me, this will turn out 2 patties, okay? Maybe you want a double Big Jamie burger with a double patty, or save that patty for tomorrow's lunch option. Would be absolutely amazing, lunch to go. So we will get 2 patties out of the 250 gram mince. It is serving 2, one for you and one for your friend perhaps. If you're not going to eat it tonight, you can store the cooked patty inside the freezer for up to 4 months or so, or inside the fridge for about 3 to 4 days. Just make sure the meat is brought down to room temperature before entering that fridge, and then you want to refrigerate it pretty soon after cooking it. Okay, it won't take too long in this springtime heat that we have in Brisbane. Okay, all right, so let's get into it. What we need is a clear glass or a ramekin, okay, something to do our egg check with, okay, similar to last week. And if you haven't done so already, now's a good time to wash your hands before we get started. Okie dokie. I saw in the chat box there about the freezing options and also the fridge option, but I can guarantee that a lot of you, they will be eaten before you even consider the options tonight, hopefully. Okay, so let's check. We learned how to check if an egg is fresh last week by dropping it into the water, and if it sinks, it's obviously fresh to use. Okay, so tonight I'm going to go straight into cracking my egg into the clear ramekin and doing a visual inspection of that egg. And what I'm looking for is a vibrant yolk, a clear albumin, which is the egg white, no clotting material. And if I happen to get a little bit of shell, remember shell attracts shell. So just fish it out with a little bit of the shell and then pop your egg shell into the bin and make sure that bin is close by. Okay, alrighty, so we've got a nice, fresh, beautiful egg ready to add to our mince mixture. I'm using premium 100% Australian beef mince here. It's also an extra lean variety. Extra lean is the most suitable mince to use in this burger tonight. We really want that patty to hold together. If you're using a more of a fattier mince that's more appropriate for bolognese and sauces and that sort of thing, you might find the fattier or the more fat percentage in your burger, the more crumbly it is when we're cooking. So try to get extra lean mince if you can, or what is available to you at the time. Okay, so we've got our mince. We're going to do a little bit of prep first. So everyone's got some old dried up crackers in the pantry. Anything you've got. I've got some Sayo crackers and I only need 3. Okay, and we're going to produce our own breadcrumbs. So place that down onto the bench and move anything sharp like your knife away. And you can grab your frying pan, okay, that you're going to cook your patties into, and start to just gently break up those Sayo crackers. Now, if it gets a little bit loud, you can, I'll mute myself, particularly when it comes up to the blender. Okay, it might get a little bit loud, so I do apologise. A little bit loud in the speakers. You can also, if you've got a rolling pin handy, you can roll the crumbs and break them up too. But what we're aiming to do with these recipes is to make or produce these beautiful meals with minimal equipment gadgets. Okay, minimal kitchen gadgets, just the bare minimum. Okay, so we're looking for rustic crumbs. No need for it to be super fine. We do want a little bit of texture in our patty. It takes a few seconds, and that's what it should resemble. Beautiful breadcrumbs. Okay, and that will be my binding agent. Now, we'll set that aside. It's in its little snap lock Glad bag there. And we're going to pick a few parsley stems and leaves. Yes, the whole herb. Now, parsley is a soft herb. Okay, so what we want to do is just make sure that we are gentle when selecting and looking for the most freshest stalks available. That's a good handful or good bunch there that I would like. And make sure you've washed your herbs as well before we get to handle them. Yes, so we're going to include the whole herb. No need to throw those stalks away today. Bundle them up or gather them up in your hands. And what you want to select now is your chef's knife. Okay, we went through a few knife handling skills last week, so nothing has changed. We want to get our ingredients into a bridge hold. I'm just going to chop off the very ends of my stalk and discard them. And what we're going to go straight into is the roll and chop method. So shake that hand, okay, bring your hand as close to the heel of the knife as possible. No thumb on top or finger on top, nice firm grip. Bring that shoulder down. And what we're going to do is almost like it's almost a guillotine. We're just going to push that knife down and lift it back up while we push through our herbs. Now, what this hand is doing here is a bit of a safety grip called the claw, where we tuck in our fingertips, okay, but we're still holding on to the herbs or the ingredient that you are chopping. We're bundling it together and gathering it, and then you just want to make sure that your fingertips are tucked away so that when the knife comes to meet them, it is flush with my flat part of the knuckles. Okay, so let's continue to push down, and remember, always working with a sharper knife is a lot safer than working with a blunt knife, because you will be applying less pressure, which should, you know, if in case you do have an accident, okay, you would be applying less pressure, but just take your time. There's no rush when it comes to chopping up. And also we're looking for rustic chopped herb. So we don't want too big pieces, but we also don't want extremely fine as well. Okay, so I'll hold this up now. That is my approximately 8 stalks and leaves of parsley, fresh parsley. This adds color and it also adds flavor through our mince. It will be marbled all the way through. And, you know, it's also full of iron and vitamin C, so it's a great addition. The parsley can go straight in to my mince meat mixture now. Okay, so just a handful. I'm probably not going to use all of it. There we go. And next, I can go ahead and add that egg. Okay. Now, we don't need to flavor with salt. We're using a herb today to provide that flavor. So hold back on the salt. There's also a high level, well, there can be a medium level of sodium already in mincemeat itself. So I think with all the flavors going on, you won't be short on the flavor. We're going to introduce an ingredient now, which is 2 heaped teaspoons of mustard. And I've got Dijon mustard here today. And that's a lovely flavor kicker in the patties. It also brings a little bit of juiciness to the patty as well. So I'm going to go ahead, and that was 2 teaspoons of mustard. You could use Old English mustard or American style, whatever you have available to you. I do love mustard, and we can pop in a good crack of pepper. Black pepper is going in. I hope everyone's keeping up so far. I will just review what's inside. So we've got the 250 grams of our beef mince, and then we have 1 egg as the binding agent. We have 2 heaped teaspoons of Dijon mustard, my finely chopped parsley, and lastly, my breadcrumbs, my self-made breadcrumbs. Okay, so that was 3 Sayo crackers worth. All right, now if your measurements are a little bit off, that's absolutely fine. The thing about burgers is it's very forgiving. And now what you're going to do is start to feel the texture and bring it all together. So I'm going to use one clean hand, and you can use a spoon to bring it together initially and then get your hands involved. I'm going to just start to squeeze that texture into the palms of my hands and really work it. And you want to keep massaging that mince through until it starts to bring together almost as one large patty. Now, notice how I'm keeping one hand free or one hand clean, okay? And this hand is the one that is working with the raw minced meat. Okay, it's because we do need to be aware of cross-contamination, and to avoid cross-contamination, which is bacteria spreading from surface to another surface, we always make sure that we wash our hands and kitchen surfaces and utensils that have come in contact with the raw minced meat or even egg in that sense as well. And we want to wash with soap and warm water before and after handling raw meat. Okay. Also, never place cooked meat on the same surface as it once had the raw meat on it. Alrighty, so you can see that that has definitely been brought together. I'm going to sit that now. I'm going to form my two patties, and then I'm going to let that sit aside. I can pop it back into the fridge with my clean hand, and that will actually help the patties to firm up just a little bit extra as well. Okay, so just a little bit of extra time. So I'm still going to form and shape this patty, and it should fit nicely into, okay, my palm or into the size of my hand. And this is what we have here, 250 grams. That is, one serve or one burger is providing you with a serve of protein. So, this other one here, like I said, we can cook it up tonight, and then you can either serve it to a friend or save it for tomorrow. But you've got two quite large patties there. You want them to be formed into a circular shape to fit onto your wholemeal bun. And they also want to be about 2 centimeters in thickness. Okay, so just make sure it's got an even cooking surface. All right, I'm pretty happy with my patties now. And I'm going to pop that into the refrigerator and then work on prepping some of my fillings for the burger. Okay, how's everyone so far? Are they all keeping up? I'll just go out of view for a second.
Everyone seems to be following along so far. I haven't heard any otherwise. If you guys are having trouble, let us know, because we can slow down, let you catch up, whatever you need. We're here for you. So holler.
Wonderful.
Talk to me in the chat, or feel free to just turn your mic on real quick if you're having trouble with anything.
That's right. And just, always take the time to reset your areas, avoiding any cross-contamination. Okay, so clean chopping board. Last week I did say about using a damp kitchen towel or a damp and wrung out Chuck's wipe. We want to make sure that there's some sort of non-slip mat underneath your chopping board. Okay, just a little bit of safety, just a reminder from last week. And let's look at our ingredients. So you'll need a tomato. Look at this beautiful blushing tomato. It's ripe, red, high in vitamin C, okay? And the lovely thing about tomatoes is they contain compounds that have been proven to fight against cancer and heart disease. Okay, so we do want to add these to the burger. I'm going in with my bridge hold, okay, and my handshake grip of the knife, and this time we're just going to slice through that tomato. You can slice off the end and then make a flat surface. And then we can go all the way through, and we're wanting whole slices here. When I'm using my knife, I'm using the heel and bringing it all the way back to the tip, okay, to finally slice my tomatoes. And again, I want to slice them into thickness that are quite even, so that my when I'm biting through my burger, I'm going to be able to taste and get at least all ingredients in that bite. Once it comes to the end, okay, we can just set them to the side. I still use them on the burger. The whole tomato, absolutely. Waste not, want not, very resourceful kitchen there. But if it's getting a little tricky for you to be cutting, just don't tempt it. Just set it to the side. Okay. Now, next is my onions. So I just want to make sure that all the chopping, is almost done. I've got my tomato and my onion. Onion's going secondary because it's obviously going to have an intense flavor. And anything you go to cut after this on the board, that flavor will follow through. So peel your onion. We're using a red onion, and what you want to do is it's got its top and its tail. Okay, so the little hairy top, and then you've got the root system there. Similar to the tomato, just chop off the top, and you can leave that root system there, and it's exposing the top. I'm discarding away the top, and now I do have this flat surface. So just like a bridge hole, what we want is we're going to look for fine rings tonight of the onion. Later on, I will show you, with recipes to come, I will show you a fine dicing method. But tonight, the recipe does call for red onion, or known as Spanish onion, purple onions. They're a lot more palatable, particularly when the skin has been removed. So please make sure you've peeled your onions. They are a lot more palatable than a white onion or a brown onion when eating it raw. So if you aren't an onion lover, one of my suggestions at the demonstration was to cook down your onions or caramelize them, okay? And it does make it, you fall in love with onions, hopefully. And the other trick is, if you just, each onion is slightly different. Some can be stronger in varieties than others, but by removing that outer tougher layer and finely slicing through the onion, you will find that you should just get hints of the onion throughout your burger, and it shouldn't be onion overload, okay? Onions are amazing qualities in them, and I think burgers and onions are absolute friends, so we want to include our onions there. So I'm just going to slice through the red onion, and using my same ripping method, nice and fine and thin. Now, does anyone have any hacks that they like to share about how to stop crying when cutting their onions? I've heard a few along the way, a few being that you use your onions nice and cold from the fridge. I've heard that having a piece of bread or bread rolls in the air absorb up the onion's gases instead of going into your eyes. And I find the trick that works for me is a sharper knife, okay? It won't bruise and release that onion gas and juice that does essentially make you cry. So using a sharper knife prevents that bruising through the layers. I find sharper knives, I never have a situation. I'm always happy in the kitchen, particularly the Jamie's kitchen. Okay, so I've got my onion slices very, very thin and fine, and I'm layering up all my ingredients ready to go so that I'm ready to stack my burger soon as my patty has been cooked.
We've got a couple tips in the chat.
Yes, yes, please.
Rinsing the knife before cutting the onions. I've never heard of that one before, so I'm going to try that one next time. And then we have one confirmation that the fridge works 100% of the time.
Good.
Exciting. I'm learning things.
That's great. And this needs a little bit more color. So what we'll do is I've got my pickles handy. If you've got whole pickles, you'll slice them up. I've got some sliced varieties today. And we want to talk about our greenery. So I'm going to use cos lettuce because I love the crispiness and the crunch that it brings to the burger. I've also got my oak leaf variety here as well. You might have iceberg too. So whatever you've got available to you, but whenever you are dealing with lettuce in the kitchen, it's always good to give it a rinse under the tap, okay, or the water. I soak it in water and a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to remove anything from the store, particularly people's handling of the lettuce. And then what I'll do is we've got soggy lettuce and no one likes a soggy salad or soggy salad ingredients. So we want to, well, I want to introduce you to a little thing here called the salad spinner. If you don't have a salad spinner available, that's absolutely fine. You can go ahead and just pat down your lettuce after rinsing it, okay, with a kitchen towel, handy kitchen towel. But I'll demonstrate what a salad spinner does. So inside we have a little basket, okay, and I've got my cos hearts there all separated. You might see that there's a little bit of dirt as well, natural dirt, okay, it's a natural product. And that's what we're going to spin off and keep these lettuce nice and dry and crispy in the fridge for and extend their life for a couple more days, particularly if they're stored in an airtight container in the crisper of your fridge too. So I'm giving them a little rinse. Sorry that that's just off camera. And then I'm popping this into my salad spinner, closing the lid, and now great spin. That's just drying off all of that water. Okay, so like I said, you can use a clean tea towel or a little kitchen towel, but now we've got these really super crisp, keeps its shape lettuce that are ready to go. Okay, so and you can see a fair bit of water, even if you're doing the whole, shaking it through a colander and that sort of thing, and you're thinking, yeah, that looks relatively dry, you'll find that there's quite a lot of water that you get from the lettuce, and that would have just been sitting in a bowl in the salad and producing soggy salad and limp lettuce. So yes, that's the secret to that crunch and that crisp. So I'm selecting my cos lettuce, nice dark green there, dark chlorophyll leaves. And the other leaves, I'll use that for the beautiful dressed green salad to be on the side tonight of my burger. Last ingredient that I've got is 2 slices of cheddar cheese, and can't forget my pickles. I know that they are a room divider ingredient. You either love them or you hate them, but I love pickles, particularly on burgers. I only put 3 on there, 2 or 3, and that just brings it all together, that beautiful flavor from the pickles. Okay, so now I have my ingredients, and you can do this if you're serving friends or family. They can put what they like and choose their ingredients in front of them. Okay, so it's quite a healthy, I called this a glorified salad roll. It's quite healthy. And what's really great is that, there is in a plain hamburger, there's generally approximately about 17 grams on average 17 grams of fat for a plain hamburger. And if you add, you know, like double cheese and fried eggs and all those sort of toppings that you find in a burger shop, you can be jumping your fat content all the way up to 26 grams. So in a cracking burger, there is measured to be only 13 grams of fat, and it's just reducing, you know, your it's definitely fulfilling your appetite, but reducing that fat content and controlling it. Okay, let's get into cooking the patty. All right, so I'm going to switch my view to the pan view now, and hopefully everyone is with me. Wonderful. There we go. So we want to bring it to a medium to high heat we're working with today. Medium to high, I'm on gas, and I'm going to put a good glug of a Jamie glug of olive oil into the pan. And how do I know when that pan has reached temperature? You'll start to see that oil move around in the pan. All right, now I have a smaller pan, and I'm going to be cooking the patty one at a time. If you have a larger pan and you're feeling up to it, you could be cooking both patties at the same time, but I do believe good things come to those who wait. So, you know, one is enough for me. I'm going to collect my mince patties from the fridge, and they should be ready to add almost straight away. Okay, so we do want to hear a sizzle when we introduce it to the pan. It's just going to seal off the patty, and because they've been sitting in the fridge, they have had a bit of a chance to firm up and retain their shape. So my first patty is going to go into the pan now, and I'm going to be using my fishtail. Okay, my fishtail egg flipper. There we go, to introduce that safely into the pan. Okay, away from myself and not from the height, as close as you can to the to the pan itself. Okay, so now it's all about looking and listening at that pan. If it's cracking and the oil is starting to smoke, that's too high, just adjust your temperature and turn it down. The secret to these patties is low and slow. Okay, we want that mince meat to be cooked all the way through. Gosh, there is nothing better than homemade burgers. Everyone loves them, and how easy are they to make? And honestly, with these fresh quality ingredients, not loaded with greasy stuff, they're bound to leave you feeling just feeling uplifted after eating them, instead of, you know, regretting eating a bit of a greasy burger from time to time. So this burger goes really well, especially served with the salad that I'm going to do. And once you've mastered this tasty basic recipe, you're on your own way to starting to venture out with different herbs. I sometimes use basil through the mixture, the stems and the leaves as well, instead of parsley, depending on what I've got growing on my balcony. All right, so what I'm doing is just loosening the patty and seeing how it comes away from the pan. If it's starting to sizzle out of control, just adjust the heat and turning it down. You can press down on your patty too. You may see a little bit of the blood rise to the top, and you can peek at the bottom and have a little look at the caramelization. There should be a slight caramelization effect happening on the bottom of your patty. And at this stage, it only takes, you know, not too long, 3 to 4 minutes per side of the patty. But once it's looking quite caramelized, And we don't want to touch it too much because it, you know, can fall apart. So we want to be really gentle and we want to be quite slow. And we're going to, when we think it's right, we're going to flip our patty. Okay, so you're looking for that golden caramelization, and it's going to give you a beautiful crunch on the outside, sealing in all of that juiciness inside the patty. Absolutely beautiful. My mouth is watering as we speak.
That was mine.
Yum, I know.
Like, that looks amazing.
It's the worst thing about being a host online is that your mouth is just watering at the end of it, and yeah, you're hungry straight away from watching it. Okay, hopefully everyone has their patty on. I've got my wholemeal bun and I've just sliced it open. Okay, and sometimes I toast this, but today they're nice and fresh and they're firm. It holds my patty all together, it does. So what I do is I bring my pan or plate, my serving plate, nice and close to the pan. And I'm just going to open that. There we go. So why we use wholemeal is because it provides more dietary fiber than using a white roll. Okay, your daily serve of dietary fiber. And when you think that the patty is heading towards the end, you can, of its cooking process, you can break open a little bit if you wanted to and have a look inside, because we want to ensure that that patty is cooked all the way through. Yep, and we're seeing no pink. Okay, we definitely don't have our patties medium rare or medium. It's completely cooked all the way through. Now that's still got a few more minutes to go, so I can introduce my cheese to now melt and hug my patty. This will definitely, if your mouth wasn't watering before, this is where it will be. And, you know, yeah, this beautiful, I hope everyone's, I know I demonstrated a lentil burger and a mushroom burger at some of the demonstrations with the escaped student accommodation. If you are doing the vegetarian option, you know, I can't wait to see how they're going on camera. I can see a lot of your views. They, you know, red meat isn't, I know, for everyone, but if you are using this, you know, delicious pick-me-up, red meat is full of iron, and that's important as a student to help reduce that tiredness or fatigue that you may experience at times and boost your concentration for a night ahead of studying. So good luck with your exams, I always say, but hopefully this gives you the power to keep pressing on. We're almost halfway through, a little bit over halfway through, so of our hour of power tonight. So keeping an eye on the time, that's been 3 to 4 minutes. Checking the other side as I lift it up. Yes, it's beautiful and golden and caramelized. So I'm switching the heat off that now, and I'm going to place that onto the base of my burger. Now I like that it is just, you know, kind of just over the size of the bun and hanging out a little bit, you know, just tempting with the eyes. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to stack this burger, okay, with my ingredients just while I have that view there. So I've got my beautiful tomatoes going on. Look at that. And then I have my red onion. And of course, if, you know, some of you I know probably added this, you can go ahead and add it to the pan and cook it in all those juices there. And you can also be cooking your second patty for tomorrow. Okay, there's my red onion. And then I have my beautiful crunchy cos lettuce going on. okay, like a little hat. And I will top my burger and close the burger now. And I can't forget my beautiful pickles that are just going to be pierced through my little skewer. Wow, that is absolutely, I'm going to bring it on over to my other view so you can get a side angle of that view of that beautiful burger. Look at this. Okay, we're almost there. I just need my dressed green salad. So while you're busy in the kitchen attending to your patty or stacking your burger, I am going to show you a quick dressed green salad to serve on the side. Okay, I'm going to pop my ingredients and just clean that board, particularly if there was a little bit of tomato juice. Okay, always reset our areas. So if you have, if you've got your hands on some beautiful oak lettuce, radicchio, some watercress, maybe you've got some kale, maybe you've got some spinach, any sort of greens that you've got, throw them all in. Okay, so I've got this oak lettuce here, just calling my name, and I love that it's got the different variations of color. I'm just going to pick that lettuce because it still has its root intact, and then I'm going to wash it, spin it, chop it up, okay, and then dress it, okay, because we know that you might not be friends with salad just yet, but I can guarantee to make you friends. And the little secret, bring together there is the dressing. It's in the dressing. Okay, a salad's not complete until we dress it. And we're making a dressing so simple that we call it jam jar dressing. We make it in a jam jar, and we put that all over and coat that beautiful salad just before serving. So let me give this a rinse off camera, and then I'll put it into my salad spinner. How is everyone going with their patties? Everyone seems to be very busy on camera, which is good. We love seeing that. Okay, here's my salad spinner. And I'm going to give this a whirl. Wonderful. Okay. Now, still we'll use some paper towel, and I'll hand select my lettuces. I'm just making a salad for one tonight. So I've got some cos, I've got oak leaf in there, beautiful. And we don't want to be too harsh with our lettuce breaking down their integrity. We still want that crispiness there. Alrighty. And we will pop that paper towel into the bin and just wrap them all up into like a little bouquet. Gather them up, bridge hold. You guessed it, just roughly top. We want texture though, we want bite. I don't want to finally, chop this. We want that into beautiful different chunks of crispiness there. I leave the stem in the cos. I think it's the best part. I've got my little clear bowl here that I'm going to pop the lettuce into. Set that aside and now work on the jam jar dressing. So the jam jar dressing, this will change your life, okay? And it will make you fall in love with any salad. So we're doing a balsamic jam jar dressing, but you'll see me demonstrate a French dressing in a few weeks' time. And you might want to try this with any sort of acid, so maybe lemon as well. But tonight we'll start with the basics. So your jam jar dressing and what you need for it is olive oil and balsamic vinegar, a little bit of cracked pepper, and a pinch of salt. That's all I need. Grab your jam jar any recycled jar that you've got with a lid. Make sure you've got a lid. And what we want to remember with this is a really simple ratio. Okay, it is just 3 parts to 1 part acid. So 3 part oil to 1 part acid. Okay, and so I've got my tablespoons just behind me. So 3 tablespoons, and then it will be 1 tablespoon of the acid being balsamic vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out. This is absolutely just liquid gold here. I love olive oil, and especially the taste of it in a dressing in its raw form or cold pressed form is just beautiful, high in antioxidants. Okay. Okay, and then what we've got here is a tablespoon of balsamic, and these 2 ingredients don't mix. So what we have to do is, naturally they don't want to mix. They will stay separated in the jar. So add that pinch of salt and that little crack of pepper, and now we will go ahead and emulsify. So store-bought dressings have tons of ingredients on the back that you may not know exactly what you're consuming there. So I'll show you what a natural emulsifier is, giving it a good shake. Okay, this is going to emulsify those ingredients. So you can shake this up just before serving. You've now combined those 2 ingredients. When you store this, store it in the pantry. It will last for ages, and just give it a shake before you go to use it. And no need to, for any chemical additives there to emulsify those ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to pour that all over my dressed chopped salad. There we go. And I will stir through just with a fork, just to make sure that every piece of greenery is coated in that beautiful balanced. It's just a great balance of a bit of tang with that salad dressing. I'm just going to pinch it and place it on my plate next to the burger. Okay, and I'll bring that up into view. We want to bring up some height. You've got all the different colors of those lettuces there. So I'll show you what that looks like in 1 minute. We love things with height, so I'll bring that up. There we go. Okay, equal amounts to my serving size there of greenery. Okay, to my main part of the meal that I'm about to devour. And just before we finish, I mean, what do we usually like to wash our burgers down with? Usually it's a milkshake or a thick shake, okay? So we're going to do a healthy spin on that too. And I'm going to just demonstrate, now this isn't in your equipment list tonight, so just follow along because it's something you might want to give it a go just at a later stage. It's a beautiful frozen fruit smoothie. So, different seasonal fruits might be a bit challenging or present as a challenge when you're going to your local grocer. So if you buy a frozen fruit, it works just as well, and you can keep it in the freezer ready to go at any stage. Okay, so you can wake up and start the day with these smoothies. You could make them ahead and have them for lunch, or you could have it as a full meal to this cracking burger and dressed green salad. So what do you need for your smoothies? I've got my smoothie or my liquidizer at the back there, so a little blender, but I'm going to bring over the actual smoothie station, I call it. So I've got some strawberries there, fresh strawberries, but I've got just 1 cup of frozen fruit. Okay, I've got mixed berries tonight, but you could try just strawberries, raspberries. It can get a little bit too many seeds in there. Frozen blueberries, or even frozen mango with a beautiful vibrant color. So here is my smoothie station. Look at that. Oh, wonderful. All good to go. And we've got beautiful Greek yogurt. Got beautiful full cream milk. You could use apple juice. You could use different alternative milks, soy milks, non-cow varieties. We have our smoothie container that I'm going to be putting it into, a smoothie jar, a banana, and some runny honey. That's optional, and we just put that honey in and adjust to your taste. So we will talk about with our smoothies that an integral part of the smoothie is that we ensure protein is going in. So I'm going to swap the view so you can see all these wonderful ingredients going in, and we'll talk about them as they are popped inside the liquidizer.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I was like, I lost you. Here you are. You're back.
Okay, so flat surface. There we go. Okay, so I've got a little bit of honey in there. Beautiful fresh honey from local supplies from West End there. And what I want to do is, the riper the better. So if you've got a tired banana that's in the background, go ahead and use up those tired looking bananas, because they provide absolute pure sweetness of beautiful over-ripened banana. Okay, one banana is going in, and then my 1 cup, so there's no grams or anything here, just 1 cup of frozen fruit or fresh, whatever, depending on what you have available. We want 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt going in, and that's a great protein hit in itself. Then, good source of calcium too. We want a glass of milk, so equal components. We had that cup or glass of frozen fruit, cup and glass of milk. A little bit of a mess. And we always, when we're making a smoothie, we want to make sure that there is a protein component, okay? So adding oats and nuts to this smoothie is great, because it's going to help slow down the absorption of sugar from the fruit into your bloodstream, which gives you more energy for longer. So we want a handful of nuts going in. I've just got some mixed nuts here. I've got Brazil hazelnuts, almonds, and walnuts. Okay. And it's going to give me that firm, sort of thick shape consistency. And some 100% rolled oats here, not the quick oats, just the pure whole grain oats. Great source of fiber. And the fats from the natural, beautiful, essential fatty acids from those nuts. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm going to also put it on mute because it might be a little loud for some of you at home. Okay, let's whiz that up.
While she's blending up the delicious smoothie, I would like to point out too that if you guys want, you can also add the oats first and kind of blend them up dry before you add all the other ingredients. That's going to make your smoothie consistency a little bit smoother, a smoother smoothie, if you will. That's how I do it at home. Obviously, that's not required. You could do it any way you like. I like to have a very smooth consistency. So that's a little tip from Taryn. Back to you, Tamara.
Thanks for that tip, Taryn. That's a good tip. I will try that. I love a silky smoothie in texture, and you can adjust if you find that your smoothie is a little bit too firm for your liking. Go ahead and add a little bit more of the liquid ingredients, and if you find it too liquid, then add some more nuts or oats. But that consistency is right for me. That is beautiful. And I'm going to bring that over so I can complete my meal. It's looking so colorful. Look at this. I'll just bring it to you. Look at that. Oh, yum, yum. What a dinner. That's a complete meal there. That's for sure. I will swap my view, and I'd like to see, I'm interested to see the views of other people's kitchens and how their burger is turning out. Some of them get so high. I mean, I tend to don't overload them too much. That's the secret. If you can, rein it back a little bit. Yeah, I know it's very hard, but think you do have to fit your mouth around that burger. So there is some other, additionals that you could add to the burger. Has anyone gone out of the realm of the ripe tomatoes and the red onions tonight and done their own? Oh, wow, Gavin, look at you've got 2 stunning burgers there. They are picture perfect. Love that. I'll see who else we've got here as well. Wonderful. Oh, wow. And yeah, and we've got our salad there too. Don't forget the side of the salad. Yeah, that's a good little question I just saw pop up on the chat box. Yes, you can eat raw oats. They're really high in probiotics in the gut. They're going to feed that beautiful gut bacteria there. And as I said, they feature fiber too, soluble fiber for our body, and will keep you sustained fuller for longer. The banana in there is also providing that low GI or low glycemic index too, and they're high in potassium. Bananas are great if you've got a bit of an upset tummy too. So all those ingredients combined is beautiful. Yeah, like a breakfast. I'm going to show you a similar recipe in a few weeks' time that we call berry nice cream. So it's really similar, but it's going to have a beautiful ice cream consistency there too. So I hope the thick shake tonight is something that you might give it a go, give it a whirl in the next week. I can't wait to see you next week for what's on the menu. I think it is our farfalle carbonara night. So that will be a beautiful trip to Italy. When we can't go there, we can go there with our taste buds, that's for sure. And it's been great cooking with you again for our hour of power. Who would have thought? Even I was under an hour, and I have that beautiful breakaway dinner tonight. Who says that burgers have to be unhealthy? That is absolutely beautiful, nourishing, and it's soul food for that soul. Yes. Any final questions before we sign off? It's just gone 7 o'clock, and that was, I hope everyone's burgers turn out great. And if you could get some happy snaps just before you eat them, that would be perfect. Send them off to info@thegoodfoundation.com.au. We love seeing your photos and your feedback. And obviously, if you're a part of that challenge, you'll want to get your photos in. Okay. I hope that we, have changed your mind and about making a great meal from scratch, saving you money, and adding on your nutrition and adding on to your cookery skills. And those skills can be added to your calibre long after this course is done. So week 2 is down, and now I will see you next Wednesday night. Tuning in. If you didn't get, someone that didn't tune in tonight, don't worry, the recording gets sent tomorrow in your emails. Look out for that link, download it, watch this on demand. You can pause, stop, play whenever you want to, and have burgers whenever you want to, and have your burger, a cracking burger night with friends is on the cards, that's for sure. Go and study, fuel your brains, fuel your bodies, study. I wish you absolute good luck in those exams if you've got them this week. I'll see you next week. It's been my pleasure having you tune in tonight. As always, take care, big love, enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Taryn, as well.
My pleasure.
Any questions there that I may not have answered?
No, I mean, I've been answering some, a lot of good questions tonight. Kept me on my toes for sure. I love questions.
Any vegetarian questions or anything like that we had? No, that's good. Okay, I hope then if there was some vegetarians cooking along that, we get to see some pictures of those juicy mushroom burgers, or lentil burgers. I switch between the two. I do, so just depending how I feel, I love the texture of a lentil burger. It's almost fluffy, if you blend it all down.
Yeah, yum.
Thank you everyone. That was lovely.
All right, I will stop the recording.
Everyone, go and tuck in. And I'll see you next week. You can stop recording as well.